This is an uncensored podcast about sex, sexuality, gender, and body stuff. Listener discretion is advised. The views and opinions expressed in this podcast are solely those of the person or persons sharing them. Some names have been changed to protect the anonymity of its participants. Hello, my friends. It is I, Drew Michael, and this is another episode of Sana Autobahna, where we drive around and talk about sexier times we had. Just kidding. This is Make Sex With Me, a podcast where... I gotta go. I gotta hit it. I gotta hit the gas, bitch. Gas, bitch. Gas, bitch. Alright, we're good. Sorry. I pull out of my driveway and I have a limited view of people coming from the right, and there's like snow and ice like right where my like right on the edge of the road, like right where my driveway is, and I have to like gun it, and then my wheels don't get traction, so I have to like semi-gun it, and then like obviously I don't see any car coming, so then I'm like in the road, and then I see a car come up over the hill, and these people are just like fucking shooting down the road, and then they, I guess out of principle, don't want to slow down even a touch. So they get right up on my ass and they look at me like, fuck you asshole. And I'm just like, please have some understanding and compassion, sir. Oh, sorry, that was so loud. I just broke the sound barrier. All right, so how is everybody? It's Sunday. Everybody love a Sunday. So I don't know if you guys know this, but I release episodes on Thursdays. But lately I've been recording on Sundays because I have to set a time to record because I'm so busy with work. And so it obviously has to be a day that I'm not working. And it has to be like enough in advance that like I have some time to like edit the episode, because I don't know if you guys know this, but I'm not actually like perfect, and so like I know you didn't know that, but I'm not, and so like I have to edit the episodes, and I will let you know I really don't edit that much. I actually edit just all the burps and farts out. And and like a lot of times I say and so you might think I say a lot, but I actually say a lot more than that. Or that's not, I guess I don't say I say oh, I guess I do say And so also there's sometimes like where I lose my train of thought. And so there's big pauses you got to take out. You know, just little annoyances. I just want you guys to listen and be less annoyed by me than you might be. And I wonder, you know, it does make you a little self-conscious when you're listening back to yourself a lot, and you're like, okay, are all my friends this annoyed with me like in real life? I know Priscilla was like said something at one point about how much I my throat or, do like almost like little ticks. And they are kind of like little ticks because I feel like I have something in my throat or like coughing, or I don't know. I make a lot of noise, and in part because I'm allergic to most things, but also, yeah, I would say it's probably a little bit of a tick. We're gonna touch on that. We're gonna touch ticks. Oh my god. I don't want. Oh shit. I don't want any of you to think I'm a super happy person, because that would not be true. But I make myself laugh now, and it's not funny. Like, the reasons why I'm laughing, I just find myself so flippin' funny sometimes. So anyway, we're going to talk about touching ticks today. We're going to touch ticks. We're going to talk about it. We're going to do it. It's going to be great. There was a little baby squirrel that was smooshed. Poor little baby. Oh, little honey. I'm so sorry you died. Doing what you loved the most. Being a squirrel. I think I miss my dog because I've been talking to squirrel a lot, and like baby talking squirrel. So it's like, also I'm turning into my mother because I apparently think that every squirrel is the same squirrel. I once challenged my mom on that. She said, oh, we went down to, Fort Myer and we saw Scully, which is the name for anytime my mom sees a seagull. I think Scully is the name they've given it. Or like maybe it was a pelican. I really wasn't. I think I was listening, but and so in knowing my family, it could be a squirrel, it could be a pelican. We'd give it the same name. I mean, we're really very stupid, I guess. But anyway, so anytime my dad saw a homeless person, he'd call him Chester the Molester. That's actually really fucked up. Sorry. So, yeah. Where were we going with any of that? I don't think we were on the right page at all. Let's flip back to the beginning. This is a podcast. And, I want to give you guys... Well, first of all, I want to give you some commands. Please rate, review, subscribe. You must. And please keep listening to the podcast. And please write in to makesexwithmepodcast@gmail.com. We would love to have that. Correspondence with you. I think that would be just really nice. Oh my god, there are 3 white pickup trucks in a row. That was super weird. All right. I think there's maybe some kind of a cult. Do you guys think that people that drive white trucks are white people? So anyway, do you think that people that drive white trucks are MAGA Trumpers? Do you drive a white truck? What are your political affiliations? I want to give you guys an update about the ducks. So I live with chickens and ducks. And for a while, I only lived with chickens and ducks. Now I have 2 male housemates, 2 live-in male housemates. And that is interesting. It's not as much of a party as you might think. And we still have like 3 ducks and like 12 chickens or something, like one big old cock. So at least there's that going for me. And I don't know if I've talked about this. The cock is really chill. He's just like really like, he only cock-a-doodle-doos like once I've been awake for a couple hours. He's really super cool. And he doesn't try to spur me. So that's nice. I feel like I've already talked about that. So just stop. Just stop repeating yourself. You are your mother. All right. So, I, what was I was in the shower. There's a whole episode about it, about me in the shower, at my house, and hearing a weird noise and looking out and seeing a duck being raped, essentially, by another duck, and the third duck just watching it. All right. So there has been advancements in the story. So I was like meeting my new housemate John, and Kenny, the guy who's like the handyman who lives next door. He was like, and he takes care of the chickens and the ducks. He was like, oh yeah, so blah blah blah, the ducks, they're all girl ducks, blah blah blah. And I'm going, wait, whoa, what? And he's like, yeah, they're all girls. And I'm thinking like, and I think I did wonder about that, because they were all brown. Like, they don't look, like, I thought male ducks were like prettier, or like they had more colors or whatever. But I was just like, I left it up to like, I don't know a lot about ducks. So there's that. Sorry, I'm having flashbacks from being a child. I feel like I'm going to tell you that story in a second. But let me tell you this one first. The ducks are all female. So when I watched one duck pushing another duck face down into a puddle and humping the shit out of it, that was female on female duck fuck. That was like, it was not probably as bad as I thought, because there wasn't a corkscrew penis involved. And I found out that 2 of the ducks are sisters, and the other duck is their mother. So now we have like duck on duck incest fuck, like Lesbo edition. It is so weird, and like, just only animals would do this, right? I mean, some humans. It's just so interesting. So apparently, and I told Kenny this in front of John, poor John, it was like his first day with the ducks and the chickens, and Kenny was just like, oh yeah. So the one duck is the daughter, likes to hump her mom, and I don't know why. She just likes to get her from behind, and yeah, they're all related. They're all girls, and I was just like, oh my god. So that happened. I guess that's the only update really with the ducks. So, oh, and then there used to be a male duck, and they named him Donald, and of course, and apparently they had to rehome Donald because male ducks are really aggressive, more aggressive than this like lesbian incest duck, apparently, and they can be really violently aggressive with chickens. So like, male ducks will try to have sex with chickens, and they can like actually hurt them really bad. And I don't know if that's because of the corkscrew penis, or if it's because they will just, I mean, I watched the ducking from before, or maybe we should call it the diking. Wait, I need to come up with this. It's a dyke duck incest fuck. I can't. I should just be canceled. Please cancel me. I I can't. I love wordplay so much. And I love what I think is a joke so much that I almost don't even care how much it harms the world when it comes out of my stupid fat mouth. I just love it so much. Okay, so I don't know. I once did a bit when I was doing some stand-up, because I do stand-up once a year nowadays, which is more than most people, but a lot less than every comedian. And I had this bit where I was talking about, like, I set the scene. I let everyone know, if they didn't actually know who I am in real life. I let everyone know that I'm extremely neurotic and I'm afraid of most foods, and I really backed myself into a corner with food. Terrified of being poisoned by someone or myself accidentally, like eating something near expiry or already expired, and then just being like food poisoned, right? And so, which probably would only mean like throwing up and pooping a lot, and I feel like, I'm pretty good at both of those, so it's like, I probably would be fine. I'd probably survive it, being food poisoned, but, there's that odd chance that I don't. And I'm really not wanting to die, so there's that. So I had this bit about how crazy I am about making sure that my eggs are not expired before I eat them and die of, salmonella or whatever. And so I was like, so I Googled it, and there's all these ways you can tell if your eggs are past their date or whatever. The first thing is you can check the container, that's usually a good one. But sometimes like 1 or 2 eggs will go off and the other ones are still fine. So you got to be careful. And then I went through like, if you have a candle in a dark room, you can look through the egg with the candle behind it, and I can't even remember what you're looking for, but I think if someone's giving you like a thumbs up from inside the egg, then it's good. I think you can eat it. And then there's like the floating it in water thing, which is kind of cool and very, very much accurate. And then there's like splitting it open and smelling it. And then there was like one that was like, if the egg is like green when you the egg yolk is green. And then there was another one that was like, if the egg itself has like furry mold on the outside. I was like, how fucking old is that egg? It was wearing a sweater. That is like, that is clearly not a good egg at that point, right? So, okay. I say this all because I have had these 2 cartons of farm fresh eggs in my fridge. They were on my counter. They were given to me by said handyman and the owner of the house. And because they told us all along that they were going to give us eggs to eat, and I hadn't had any, and she asked me one day like, oh, did you get any of the eggs? And I said, nope, I've never been offered any, but I'd love to try some if there's any to spare. I tried to make her feel bad. And so the next day there was 2 cartons of eggs on the counter, and they're like, yeah, you don't have to put them in the fridge. They're like, covered in a natural like sealant that comes out of like the chicken's cloaca. It's basically their birth juices, sealed the egg. And so you don't have to refrigerate it unless you wash them. Once you wash that sealant off, then you have to refrigerate the eggs or whatever. So I instantly started refrigerating the eggs because I was just like, let's just be safe. We'll just keep them cold. And you can keep your farm fresh eggs in the fridge. It'll help them last even longer. Plus, I came to find out that neither of my new male housemates eat eggs, which is so interesting. And so finally today I washed eggs in my sink, and I did almost everything right. I was like really nice, like almost not hot, but like warm water It's like warmer than the temperature of the egg, which I'm assuming is like the temperature of the room. Or, well, the eggs were in the fridge, so it was definitely warmer. And then like, you're supposed to use non-fragrant soap in warm water and not like submerge them, just like rinse them. But I used Dawn dishwashing soap because it's what I had. And then I washed all the little flecks and things off and the little slimy parts, and then I dried them off, put them in a bowl, put them in the fridge, and I took 2 of them, which I think were duck eggs, because I was told some of the eggs will be duck eggs, and I thought they looked like smaller than the other eggs in the bowl, but once I cracked them, they were like humongous. So there's that. So I had 2 fried duck eggs on top of an open-faced bagel with Munster and spinach and some Valentina hot sauce, a little bit of herbes de Provence, and some crushed crystal salt and crushed crystal, pink Himalayan. I'm trying to make this sound really gourmet. And so now I'm afraid I've been poisoned. Although it was delicious. There's that. So I guess talking about it is making me feel just really special. And I got eggs from ducks that have been, fucking each other and keeping it in the family. So that's really nice. My other duck story doesn't really have anything to do with ducks. This was like a teenage boy thing, because I used to be a teenage boy. I used to be a teenager, and I used to be a boy. To say. We had these weird, I totally have told this story before. We had these weird, hard, plastic, placemats. There was cork on one side, and then it was enamel on the other side. And I think they were supposed to be put down, I don't know where these would have even been useful. But anyway, so we had them, and we obviously weren't using them. And the reason why I don't know how they were useful is because they had each one had a different breed of duck on it, and it was male looks like this, female looks like that, and there was mallard, there was another one. I only know what kind of duck. I think there's a duck called I think we called it an oriental duck or something. I think that's what it said on the thing, but it's obviously Pan-Asian now, but no, I don't know any other kind of duck. But I learned a lot about these ducks that I forgot pretty instantly. But what I did have was the fact that these placemats were not useful because they were educational placemats, right? And I don't know where they came from. I don't know if they came with the house. I don't know if they were my grandmother's. I don't know. I lived with my grandmother at the time. My mother and I did. And so they ended up in my room, which anything that ends up in a boy's room around the time he starts masturbating is just gonna get covered in cum. I'm really sorry. I don't know if they got covered in cum, but they probably did. But what they did get covered in was drawings. I found out that I could take one of these placemats, and on the cork side, I could get my penis really hard, and then I could tuck the placemat up underneath the underside of my dick, and I could mark the girth from side to side and the length of my penis, so I could keep track of how big my penis was getting. Because I was a teenage boy, I obviously wanted a monster cock because that's what, makes you a man, is having a big penis. So that's my other duck story. Both duck stories are inappropriate and sexual. I don't know if that upsets anyone. Oh, God. Such a good show. All right. I'm going to take a little break. And we're going to come back and we're going to dive into... Well, I'm cleaning my teeth. Sorry about that. We're going to take a little break. We're going to come back and we're going to dive into some, trauma archiving. We're going to talk about archiving trauma. And that might come into the thing about tics. I'm going to talk about how trauma kind of manifests into... Okay, I don't have to describe it before we do it. We'll be right back. I feel like I have this thing where I'm try to be funny, try to be annoyingly funny, you're so funny that you can act as annoying as you want and people are gonna just think it's so funny. And I'm not sure that they do. Do you ever have one of those days where you're having fun and all, but you also are a little bit annoyed with yourself and you can't quite not be? You're oh God, I'm not. Sorry, I was looking at the license plate in front of me. I got a new license plate, you guys, and I just want you to know, I'm pretty sure my old plate, I can't remember if I actually said what my license plate was over the air ever, but I think maybe I did. Let's just say the first part of my old license plate used to be TYJ, and the minute I got it, I was thank you, Jesus. I was oh my God, my license plate is thank you, Jesus. Which was so funny because I'm not very religious. And then I guess I can talk about it. The last part of it was 24/7. Thank you, Jesus, 24/7. So yeah, that was a bit much for me. My new license plate is adorable. And it definitely says the word queers on it. It's QRZ. Queers! I love it so much. I am a queer. I'm a big, old, fucking queer. And I'm so happy that my new license... it does feel like a good omen. There's just been all these good omens lately, and I'm just full of good ominous feelings. Does ominous come from the word omen? Who know? Who know men? I don't know men. I don't know any men. Wow. I hate myself right now. I think it's the mullet. I got a mullet yesterday for the first time. I'm a 38-year-old mullet haver, and I feel so much like I am actually more androgynous with a mullet. It's really cute. It's really happening. I am wondering what my boss is going to say about my hair. She's been gone for a week, and she's going to come back to me having a mullet. So I'm really curious. I feel like she's going to be oh, wow. And I'm going to be don't you love it? And she's going to be mm-hmm. I'm going to be great. Well, it's my hair, so don't say anything rude. That's what I'm going to say. All right, so let's talk about what I said we were going to talk about, because I'm a professional. Basically, so I was talking to myself earlier today, much like I'm doing now. And I was like thinking about I was thinking about this guy that I have been talking to a little bit, he's really fucking cute, and he's my same age, which I was like, oh my god, I haven't met someone my like literal same age in forever. And it was like really nice, except for I kept saying things about how he was like a mature man. And it was like, he's literally your age, you idiot. Stop telling him he's old. But anyway, he's a recovering alcoholic, and those are his own words. And I'm just kind of like, okay, that's fine. You know, like most of my family has had problems with substance abuse. So, you know, I'm totally fine with that. I was just like dialoguing, like I was imagining like what a future conversation might be between us, because I told him that, like, you know, if I have a problem with anything, it's probably food. And he was like, oh, okay. And I don't know, it was hard to read, you know, his response over like via text, because we were, you know, texting on Scruff or Grindr or some shit. I can't even remember which app I'm using and when I'm using it. But he was like saying, well, he didn't say much. So in my head, I was like, oh my god, I wonder if like I'll ever have this conversation with him or someone like him where it's like, you think you have a problem because you can't say no to like more pizza, but like I wasn't a drug addict. Like, they're two different things. One is a real problem, the other one you're just like making up. And I was like thinking about what I would say to him, like, well, you know, like, you can believe that, that's fine. Like, it doesn't have to, you don't have to worry about my addictions or my things that I am or am not, like, unless I guess we get really close. But, you know, the food thing is really a thing. Like, I told this guy, I said, I replace sex with food. I replace sex with pizza. Like, when I'm not getting sex or love or attention or, you know, human contact or all these things, I reach for food. So it's like this thing of like, I use substance to make me feel better when I don't feel well because I don't have ... And I think a lot of that is like acceptance, love, praise, like guidance, like, you know, all of these things that we get from people. So I don't know if there's a difference between needing to reach for alcohol to feel better, or chocolate, or pizza, or, you know, ketamine, you know, some kind of drug. I don't know that there's really a difference. I think, like, we find things that make us feel better and we reach for them. And some things can be chemically addictive, but that's the thing. Like, okay, so maybe cigarettes can be literally chemically addictive to where, like, you don't even want to smoke them anymore, but, like, your brain is like, you have to smoke these things. Or you have to smoke cigarettes because, like, you have to. Like, your body wants that nicotine, or it wants, like, what nicotine provides. Like, I don't know how we kind of sort of like decipher like what addiction means. Like, something could have a chemical in it that's literally like, you start using that chemical and your body like needs that chemical. That is one thing that I think is hard to understand, like whether the chemical itself is addictive, or if the chemicals that are released in your brain when you use a substance, can be addictive. Like, is it possible for anything that you naturally produce in your body to be addictive? Like, we do different things. Like, they're saying that, like, being on social media too much and all of these things, like, you start to become, like, addicted to your own, and I can't remember what the fucking name of the chemical is, but it's like your own, I think it starts with an A. Your own, God, what is it called? Like, you just get so used to, like, I get so used to reaching for my phone because looking at Instagram Reels or YouTube or TikTok or whatever, those little quick little spurts of boom, 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 it releases, not serotonin, I can't think of the name, and I'm gonna think of it later and just be like, fuck! Not epinephrine, not norepinephrine, it's not adrenaline, it's not ghrelin. I know all these chemicals. It's not any of those. Anyway, I'll think of it. But yeah, so you have, like, it's weird when something, how and when, at what point something becomes, like, addictive, what is it about it? Is it the substance itself that contains something that's addictive, or is it what happens in our brain when we use the substance that becomes addictive? And in that sense, like, so many things can be addictive. Habits can be addictive. It's not just like a substance, but it can be a subject, like watching porn. Porn isn't, I guess it's a subjective substance. It's not a physical thing. We don't actually eat it, but we view it and we hear it and we sense it, and it does certain things to our brain, and you can be addicted to porn. And you could be addicted to sex. You could be addicted to a lot of things, a lot of weird shit. And I don't know when something becomes an addiction, or if you just have a problem or an issue or an obsession or I almost said another word that would have worked there, but it didn't come to me. So anyway, yeah, I don't know at what point we call each thing what it is. But I think it's kind of up to the person. Like, if you want to say that you're addicted to alcohol, if you want to say you're an alcoholic, then you can say that. If you don't, then you don't have to. If you have a problem, though, with alcohol and you don't think you have a problem, that's kind of like, oh, yeah, you do, and everyone around you knows it, and they're, like, not afraid to tell you, and you do some pretty fucked up shit as a result of your problem you have. Call it what you want, but you definitely have a problem. Or like if the doctor says you need to stop drinking because your organs are failing, and if you don't quit drinking, you're gonna die, and then you don't quit drinking, that's a problem. That's probably an addiction at that point, right? It's like, I'd rather drink myself to death than to not drink and still be alive, Or maybe you really want to be alive still, but you just really want to drink. And there's all these, reasons for that. But anyway, so I was thinking how I might have to think about this. I made a connection to my trauma. I made a connection to how trauma... Oh, I was thinking about how I don't like to do certain kinds of drugs because I feel like out of control when I do them. I feel like with drinking, because I do like to drink, although sometimes drinking doesn't make me feel so good, and I go like, ugh, I don't want to do this right now. Sometimes drinking makes me feel okay. Sometimes drinking makes me feel amazing. Sometimes it's a good time to drink, and other times it's not. And I can sense that, and I can like cut myself off and just say like, oh, this isn't really helping, or, you know, I want to drink tonight. I would love to go out and have fun, but I've been having really bad like GERD, like, you know, acid reflux in my esophagus, and like I know that another night of drinking is not going to help that. You know, me in my 20s would have drank anyway, just like pop some Tums. Like, me now is like, no, I don't want to do that. I'd much rather, you know, take the week off from drinking and like just try to like nurse my acid reflux and like eat foods that are gonna be better for keeping that at bay and whatever, you know, try to do healthy shit. I mean, that's way more me now, and I don't know if I'm healthier now or what, but, you know, I don't have the issues with drinking now that I did when I was like in college, and then like directly after college when I had no idea what I wanted to do with my life. I still don't know what I want to do with my life, but I have a lot more immediate goals now than I did then, and I've already gotten started. I've already made a pretty large investment in myself several times, so I just feel like I'm not going to try to fuck that up. So yeah, I don't really have an issue now, but I still have an issue with food, and that's difficult. It's very difficult for me to even like count my fucking calories or like do my macros. Like I can't even like try to eat the right amount of carbs, fats, and proteins each day without being like, you know, like, this is too much for me. I'm not able to look at myself under a microscope this much. You know, like, I just have issues that don't want to be looked at. And so I was talking about trauma, and I was talking about how trauma is kind of like a tumor. You know, it doesn't have to necessarily be cancerous. But like, I watch Dr. Pimple Popper all the time, and she's always like dissecting lipomas from, you know, she'll like remove a lipoma from someone's shoulder, and she'll be like, oh, this one's kind of tricky, it's really holding on, and she'll be like, I gotta make sure I got every little part of it, otherwise there's a chance it could grow back. And then she's like in there with her finger and like trying to dislodge the little, so like these lipomas, it's not just like a ball inside of your body, and it can be, but the longer it's been there and the more it's been like traumatized, and I don't mean to use the word traumatized, but that's what they say when you have a part of your body that's had a lot of trauma, like it's been hit by things, or it's been I don't know, pulled on, just like all sorts of things. Sometimes these bigger tumors, they stick out and they have a lot of things catch on them or pull on them or push on them, and they just keep growing, but they end up like having to almost like hold on more, and so they grow fingers, and the fingers go in and out of your like muscular tissues and stuff, and the fascia. And so sometimes they're hard to dislodge, because you have to get in there and get around each little finger and each little piece and like just really coax it out. And this is a disgusting analogy, but it's what I thought of when I thought of my literal, or maybe not literal, my emotional trauma. How it's, the longer it's in there and the more stuff piles up and the longer you, I don't know if it's like helps the trauma to get therapy and talk about it, or if it helps the trauma to not do any of that. I don't know, but but you have trauma, and I do think it's important to get therapy and talk about it. I think it helps you a lot, but I also think that there are like these little fingers that will just kind of like reach into other places and insert themselves and hide themselves. Nothing happened. Ooh, this guy's hot. That guy's super hot. I'm like suddenly cruising at a rest stop. I need to go pee, and I think I need to be somewhere not driving when I do my call in like 15 minutes. So yeah, why not just do a quick little cruise? So, but I wanted to say to you, like, the eating and like the not being able to like control myself and all these things. I mean, obviously that's connected to trauma, although I haven't fully connected all of these thoughts. But I was thinking about myself not liking to do like certain kinds of drugs. Like with alcohol, I feel like, oh, you don't want to be drunker, just don't drink anymore, and then like drink some water and like just like chill out. And like, you know, you don't get like super drunk super fast. With like drugs, sometimes like it'll hit you so fast and you're like, holy shit, now I'm so high, and I'm gonna be this high until I'm not high anymore. And like that being out of control of your high is like, I don't love that. And then I was thinking about, I made this connection literally standing right outside my closet. I don't know if that's significant or anything, but I was like, there were times when that I have trauma from, right, where something happened that I didn't give my consent for. I did not consent to have certain things happen, and that feels similar to, you know, taking a bite of a brownie and it's like, wow, that brownie tastes kind of different. Why is that? Oh my God, there's pot in these brownies. And then being like, oh my God, I'm going to be high. And like being like, I did not consent to being high. I just wanted to take a bite of this brownie. I didn't know it was drugs. And then also that's happened to me too. Also like smoking weed and thinking you're just gonna have a fun little high, and then getting like so fucking high and being like, oh my God, and like flipping out and being like, this isn't fun, like I don't want to be this high. It's like, had I not been in situations before where like somebody abused me or assaulted me, I don't know that I would have such a problem with being out of control of my destiny or my outcomes. Well, I want to say outcomes. I think I like to be in control of my outcomes because of the fact that people have hurt me really badly. And I made that connection today, and that might be, I might say that out loud, and somebody might be like, fucking duh. But I didn't connect those two things ever before. Which is interesting. Like, I like to be in control, That would be like the most control if everything I put in my mouth I like had a record of on my phone. That would be like the most controlling thing a person could do, and I don't like to do that. And I need to figure out why. I think I'm just lazy with that part. But wow, right? Like I never would have made that connection before, and the fact that like trauma, like I said, it hides itself, it crawls into different, you think all of my trauma's in one drawer in this compartment of my brain, and it's like, oh no, you're gonna find that trauma has made its way over to this drawer and that file and that, other compartment. Like it spreads out. It doesn't want to leave. It wants your attention, and yeah. Trauma is interesting. It stays with you. It'll always be with you. It's why you wake up one day and you just don't feel like you're in a good mood, and nothing's happened that you know of to make you feel that way. But yesterday you were so happy, and then today you're just like, the world is shit. That's trauma. It just manifests itself. It's just really great. Love it. But it also makes me who I am in a large part, and I'm not going to regret being who I am right now today. Like, I'm pretty happy in a lot of ways with like who I am today. I have some regrets, but I think I do a really good job at saying like, don't regret, just like fucking do shit that you want to do. Like, you can sit here and have this negative narrative for as long as you want, but eventually, like, you have to change the narrative. You have to like create a new narrative or find a different narrative to focus on all the time, because this one is tired and old and not getting you anywhere. And yeah, that's that. I'm not sure if I have much more to say. I don't know how long this episode has been. Thank you guys so much for everything, for listening, for being followers, for being my lovers, my friends. And I hope you guys rate, review, subscribe. I hope you email us, makesexwithmepodcast@gmail.com. And I hope you are filling your holes with some trauma. Trauma counseling.